So before we dove into Taurus season, I saw something quite funny, or actually noteworthy, so I got the red marker out. Because as the sun was still exalted in Aries on 29 degrees, like I promised, the ruling planet of Aries season, Mars, shifted out of its fallen placement of Cancer into Leo. So let's note that this is on 0 degrees of the fixed fire sign of Leo, as the sun shifted into Taurus and is now on 0 degrees of Taurus, the fixed earth sign. So over here we have an exact fixed square between the sun and Mars. And like we also said, the sun shifts 1 degree a day, and aspects are felt up to 3 degrees. So 3 degrees in advance, we had an outer sign square following up to this exact square, and 3 days afterwards. So let's say the sun is on 2 degrees, it will still be in that square with Mars, but getting out of that square. But as it is on 2 degrees, it will be in an exact opposition with Lilith. And Lilith, also note this, is the furthest point from the moon, the darkest point from the moon, currently residing on 2 degrees in Scorpio. So over here we have an exact opposition, as this square is also starting. So over here we have another T-square, where the Mars is the mediator between the opposition with the sun and Lilith. But afterwards the sun is just moving away, right? Quite quickly, 1 day further, so we're getting out of that stuff. But on 3 degrees it will find itself in another fixed square with Pluto in the fixed air sign of Aquarius. So on the 3rd day of Taurus season, we have an exact square over here. And this square between Lilith and Pluto is also starting, while Pluto will be in an opposition with Mars during the opposition of the sun and Lilith. All these squares, all these oppositions, as you may see, we call a grand cross. What it means? Go figure. Either way, let's dive into Taurus season, which ruling planet is Venus. And Venus at the beginning of Taurus season will be on 25 degrees in Pisces, that exalted placement. And at the end of Taurus season, it will be in its detriment placement of Aries. But like we've noted in this year 9, where the North Node and the South Node are in Pisces and in Virgo, it's a time to shift things around a little. Especially with Venus in that exalted placement of Virgo, of Pisces, but we're going to talk about it. Not everyone can go. And do note also that until 10 degrees in Aries, Venus will be in her shadow phase, but we'll be talking about it. So it's still a time to reinvest, revalue, redo your things when it comes to your sense of value with Venus in Pisces and in Aries. Am I going to talk about it now? Yeah, let's talk about it now, because we still have in our mind that Lilith is the furthest point from the moon, right? The darkest point from the moon, so furthest from Earth. So as we're off to that new moon in Taurus, we have a supermoon. And the moon is also exalted in Taurus, right? Because as we're getting out of Aries, the sign with the dominant phrase I am, we're going into Taurus with the dominant phrase I have. With that solar eclipse, we know who we are, we know who we want to be, how we want to approach the world, but what do we have in support of who we want to be? And as that supermoon, that super new moon will be in exalted in Taurus, Taurus holds the moon in very high regards. Be very stable with your emotions, because your emotions are valid. But what you are doing with it is the real question. Because Taurus, it may feel like it's forced, but it's not forced. You are supported. You are supported in your evolution. You are supported in making changes in the way you receive your value and the way you gain your value. As Taurus, second house, all about possession, the value, and the self-worth, and everything. Also rules the throat, but we'll talk about it when Mercury will dive into Taurus, as Mercury, the top, looks like Taurus, right? Because the second house is the throat, the voice, speak, do, but we'll get to it. Either way, the ruling planet, Venus, let's go back to that. Again, what you have, I have these intention journals, and someone asked me, like, can you make these intention journals every month again? So I have that interactive self-help book, which is really personalized to me. Because, yeah, for the Taurus, you can order your Taurus season book. For the Gemini, you'll be able to order your Gemini self-help intention journal. We have these things, but I'm not an author, I'm an astrologer. Link in bio for whoever cares. Venus, ruling planet of this upcoming season, on the first day, the 19th of April, will be in a conjunction with the North Node on 25 degrees. 25 degrees is the evolved Aries degree. So the Aries is that inner child, that ball of fire, that energy, your source. Where do you want your energy and your source to go to? Because remember what you raised yourself for, where you want it to be. It is your potential first and foremost. If you cannot fill out of your cup, do not fill out of your cup. Make sure that you are full, that you are satisfied first. And Pisces may be all about the collective, maybe all about the unity and stuff, but you are a piece of the puzzle. And if one piece of the puzzle is a little bit crooked, the whole puzzle is crooked. So make sure you are good first. Make sure your cup is filled first. With that North Node in a conjunction with Venus, not everyone can come, as it will be also in a conjunction with Saturn on 27 degrees, and 27 degrees, the evolved Gemini degree. And yes, the other time in the Libra full moon video, we talked about 27 degrees and the part of fortune being over there in Gemini and in that T square with the North and South Node. It was important then because it was exaggerated by the Libra full moon. So yeah, the part of fortune will like be in the T square like every day, 2 times a day. But we don't really care about it because it's not exaggerated. It's not accompanied by something extra like a full moon. This T square though, everything that gets into Taurus will eventually, with these two bodies especially, because they're moving quite slow. Either way, as Saturn will be in a conjunction with Venus. Saturn is the planet of limitations, of boundaries. Our love, Venus, our worth becomes conditional because not everyone can go. Just because you can give, Venus, Pisces holds Venus in its highest regards. Just because you can does not mean you should. Because at the end of the day, 9 out of 10 it's taken away from you and your potential and where you could go. Because as Venus will be entering Aries on the 30th of April, it will be in conjunction with Neptune, which just entered Aries on 1 degree. 1 degree is the first Aries degree. So for you, be very selfish, be very egotistical, and become okay with it. In order to make your dream come true, you have to drop something or someone else's vision. I see this for you. I see this for you. I see this potential for you. But what do you see for yourself? Think about that. So as on the 30th of April, Venus will be entering her detriment. Get comfortable with being selfish and nurture your child, your energy. Because just because someone sees, oh, I could use your energy for this, maybe I do not have the energy for that consistently. So we're not going to start. Taurus knows where it wants to be, where it does not want to be. You are not forced to slow down. You are supported to slow down. Because that's not something you are going hard for. As we are off to the 4th of May, when Pluto will start moving retrograde on 3 degrees in Aquarius. So when Pluto moves retrograde, it becomes difficult to feel empowered. It feels difficult to feel in control. In Aquarius, Aquarius rules the peer-to-peer relationships, the community. It's kind of like the masses, the humanitarianism. And of course it feels difficult to feel in control because are you in control of the narrative of where you're wanting to go? If you're effortlessly flowing to where you know that you want to go, it will be effortless. But if you keep fighting, if you keep resisting, like, oh, I don't want to be here, it's your safety net. It's your security that will not let you fall. So wherever the flow takes you, go. And wherever you feel like you need to be anchored, you need to be grounded, start getting grounded. Because as the South Node is in Virgo, I've been getting into the book Atomic Habits, right? And they have something like, it's not about getting all of the votes. It's not about getting the perfect score. It's about getting the majority of the votes to win. As long as you're consistent, as long as you're showing up and as your best self, and maybe that's not all the time, but it is most of the time. And those most of the times, those are which count. Those are which make you powerful. You have to invest into where you want to be. On the 10th of May, Mercury, again with that top half looking like Taurus, will shift into Taurus, the glyph of Taurus. So that second house, or wherever Taurus may be for you, is where you need to use your voice. Let it be known. Speak it into reality. Make it something tangible. Taurus is ruled by Venus, and Venus is also the senses. What you feel, what you taste, what you hear, the other one. Indulge the senses. Make it something tangible. Make it something that you can enjoy from. Speak it into existence and think about how you can gain the majority, because you don't need it all yet. Make baby steps. Baby steps are still steps towards wherever you want to be. You don't need to take like the whole stage yet. Baby steps. As we're getting into these hard aspects, I think my jacket like blew it all away, but it's all in the description. I got you. We're first off to the last quarter in Aquarius, and we have 2 last quarters in Aquarius, and last quarters are times to let go in order to grow for your aspirations, and apparently we're very serious about it. We have 1 last quarter on 1 degree, the first Aries degree, so very childlike, your inner spirit, like when you're not thinking about it, where does your energy take you? And at the end of the month we'll have before the sun shifts into Gemini, we'll have the other last quarter on 29 degrees. 29 degrees is the Leo degree. So for your full expression, where do you want to be? Who do you want to be? And how do you want to show up? What do you want to create with all this energy? Because we've also talked about it with Cancer, ruler of the moon. Emotions, they are very valid. Good, bad, ugly, whatever, but what are you going to do with it? Are you going to make it a success story or something yeah. Either way, that last quarter on 1 degrees in Aquarius, so almost kind of like in conjunction with Pluto, but is ruled by Uranus in Taurus, and Uranus is in its detriment in Taurus, right? Because Taurus would like everything fixed, would like everything stable, but Uranus is over there like ruining everything, and all of a sudden new change, all of a sudden new evolution, all of a sudden this space for new inventions. You are not taken away your time, you are given time to invest in whatever you want to do. You are not, it's not taken away. You are given new opportunities to invent yourself in a new way, even though it has been this stable. This has been the status quo forever. Changes are coming. Get comfortable with it, and for the sake of your aspirations, let go. Because if you don't, you just might lose it. Don't be like the snake and the saw. The snake, which crawled over a saw, and the saw heard him, so the snake thought, let me strangle the saw. But because he was strangling the saw, he hurt himself more, and because he hurt himself more, he got more angry, so he strangled harder. And let go for the new innovation that you can bring with whatever it is that you have in this fixed square. Where are these fixed houses for you? After that new moon in Taurus. So that new moon is a super moon, right? So very close to Earth, very serious about that end of an old cycle and beginning of a new cycle. Just like Venus is starting these ending these old cycles and beginning these new cycles, we're going to be very selfish this time around, because it's about our evolution and how we can use whatever we have to get where we need to go with Uranus over there. This new moon will be occurring on 7 degrees, the Libra degree, and will be ruled by Venus still in Pisces. So thinking that everyone can come, but we need to stop that. Starting from the 27th of April. All your potential is for you to deal with and for you to have. Find a friend in whom you can rely necessarily, because can you see the forest behind the trees? Can you see the trees behind the forest? I don't know how the saying goes, but sometimes you're so caught up in yourself that you can't even see what it actually is. You can't even see what you have. And there are quite some friends coming to me like, Shmoane, do you know? Yeah, I know, but I'm not comfortable. But those friends are also triggering me, and again, in a good way. Just because you're triggered doesn't mean it's bad. Do something with it. Do something with that energy, that ball of fire that starts lighting up, that starts burning up with all your potential. And so maybe someone else is there who can see it for you. Libra degree, use your relationships, those close relationships to you, those 5 relationships which actually mirror who you are. As we're off to the first quarter in Leo. And that first quarter will occur on 14 degrees. 14 degrees is the Taurus degree, right? Yeah. Taurus degree, about what you have, ruled by the sun in Taurus, also on 14 degrees. So on the 4th of May, this is the only cause you need to dedicate yourself towards. Even with all these distractions, clear your space so you can perform. The fact that something is taken away from you, something that you've had all this time, that you've got so used to, that's so stable to you, it's making space for you to perform who you are, who you know that you can be. And it's time to be dedicated. Even though you were used to, yeah, but I used to like wake up at 6 o'clock and I had the obligation to. Now you have the obligation to do it for you and for yourself. And are you as obligated to yourself as you would be to someone else? Off to the full moon in Scorpio. And if the moon is exalted in Taurus, it's in its fallen placement in Scorpio. And that's because even though Scorpio is a water sign, so all about the emotion, can also rule with those moods, right? Like Cancer. But it's too much, because Cancer is cardinal, makes space for the emotions, makes way to listen to it. But the Scorpio, that fixed water, is too investigative, goes too deep, goes very deep. And will also be crossing Lilith. But this full moon will be on 22 degrees. And 22 degrees is the Capricorn degree. Capricorn, legacy, achievements, long-term goals, thinking about the long-term plan, and ruled by Pluto, which is moving retrograde in Aquarius. So still making it difficult, right, during this full moon. And we're getting deep into those emotions during this full moon, that peak of the cycle. Dedicate your heart to your legacy. It may be built together, but you have to be the catalyst. You have to be the axis it revolves around. Someone has to be that beacon of light, that lighthouse, so others know, okay, that's where we can go. If you don't see it yet, it's probably you. If you don't see the way out yet, you may be the way out. So yeah, dedicate your heart to wherever it is you want to be, wherever it is you want to go, because no one else is going to do it for you. It's your life. Don't you forget. As we're off to that second last quarter in Aquarius on 29 degrees. 29 degrees. So it's not just the full Libra degree, the full Leo degree. It's the full degree of that zodiac sign too. So Aquarius is the activist, is humanitarian. It's all about evolution, revolution, technology, friendships, community, and all that stuff. And the full expression of the Aquarius, the 29 degree, because Leo is expression. The last Leo degree, because we have 5, 17, and 29. This is the full expression of that sign before we go into another sign, ruled by Uranus and Taurus. What is it that you have that can help you to evolve and revolutionize in where you want to be? So I remember when I went that hard last video about the part of fortune, right? And someone on TikTok was like, totally nuts. Okay, I understand, but what? The person doesn't understand astrology, but whatever. If you do understand astrology, or if you are interested in astrology, would you rather have someone that's like very mellow, very well, not mellow, very boring and very, or someone that's very passionate? I'd rather have someone who's very passionate. And because that's what I know I would like to have, that's what I'm going to give you. I know what I have, I know what I would like to have, and that's what I can give you. May feel a little bit uncomfortable. I really don't like being in front of a camera, but figure out where this grand cross is happening for you as this last quarter in Aquarius, 29 degrees on the ruled by Uranus. They say it's hard to make new friends as we age, but maybe it's because you're hanging on to old beliefs. Because it's also with that Venus in Taurus, right? Venus is the words, the sense of word, the possessions, and it's also the relationships we hold. But those relationships, I've been saying, it's not just romantic relationships, but sometimes people feel a connection. I feel a spark. I sense something, sensuality, and all of a sudden it's like, should I romantically pursue this? Why wouldn't you, like, in a business way, pursue it? Not everyone you find a connection with is there for you to build that connection with. Leo is all about the children, taking risk, and the love and the romance. Aquarius is all about the people and the community and the future of the community, humanitarianism. I remember there was this picture, like three girls next to a car being very like gangsta, and the whole internet was making fun of it. It was a whole meme. And one girl disappeared, but the other two started making candles. They bad baby that story. Like, hey, we got all this notoriety. What are we going to do? Bad baby it, make candles and sell them. And that reminded me of this dude who started talking to me about soap or something, and I was like, we could have made soap, man. We could have made soap, but yeah. That's again the Leo placement, eh? Thinking we can start something together. No, baby, we can't. But it's okay. People will realize anyway at their own time, because as we're at the end of Taurus season, on the 20th of May, we're going into Gemini season. Gemini season, well, you're not really going to see it because I'm not very good at drawing, but we're going into the moon wobble. Remember when we're in the middle of the eclipse season, and this will happen on the 13th of June, when the sun will be on 22 degrees of Gemini. So 22 degrees, again, that Capricorn degree. Either way, mid-eclipse day, and Gemini is also about all those social contacts, right? And sometimes people think, oh, because we have a connection, we have a romantic connection. No, sweetheart, try and explore those business connections. Try and explore those. What kind of relationships were we talking about? Business relationships, spiritual connections, emotional connections, financial connections.
Here we have a connection.
We could have made soap.